and a very warm welcome to yet another scintillating edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and the achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. I am Amina Jibril. Now, coming up on the program, CAC's digital revolution receives a boost. Plus, we take a second look at shareholders and the rights of minority shareholders. Also, how to register an association, club, or faith-based organization seamlessly online. But all of that will be right after this break. Do stay with us.
Then another issue that has been of concern too relates to allotment for legacy companies. Because this system was deployed in January last year, the information on companies registered earlier than that date is not available in the system. So you may not be able to alter your memo or amend your constitution. So the system has been redesigned in a manner that allows you now to resubmit your memo as altered. So the era of submitting documents to us through courier or dropping in our office for alteration, we are going to stop that because the system now allows you to do electronic alteration and amendment of constitution. All you need to do is resubmit the memo, the complaint memo. We're not even interested in seeing the old one. We trust that what you are submitting is correct, as altered. The system will store it. You have the necessary approval for alteration. And moving forward, when you come to do subsequent alterations, the system has already captured that. You'll be able to do it seamlessly. So this is already in place and it's happening. So please don't send physical documents to us for alteration. You take advantage of this window and you get your results within a matter of a day or two.
Welcome back to the program CAC Weekly. We start off today with the more support for CAC's digital revolution. Now, the digital revolution of the Alhaji Garba Abubakar-led Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has received a further boost. Now, the development followed the presentation of two brand new high-density laptops to the CAC by Praxis and Gnosis, a law practice and business advisory firm, in recognition of and support for the Commission's recent digital transformation. Presenting the items, Ayodeji Bamigbola, a partner, accompanied by Uwa Omorui, a senior associate, and Adiola Karimat Dada, an associate, said the gesture was to augment the Commission's digital processes. He therefore commended the management and staff of the Commission for the untiring efforts towards the implementation of an end-to-end electronic solution for the benefit of customers and the growth of the Nigerian economy. Responding, the Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, appreciated the gesture, which he said would go a long way in enhancing the Commission's operations. Alhaji Garba Abubakar therefore restated his resolve to implement far-reaching reforms in line with global best practices. Now, CAC Weekly recalls that on August 5th, 2021, one of Nigeria's oldest and renowned law firms, Olajide Oyewole LLP, made a similar donation of laptops to the CAC. The Commission, on its part, had reinvigorated its digital revolution with the distribution of data-enabled laptops to all its approving officers who often voluntarily respond to online application outside of office hours and on weekends. We say congratulations and kudos to the CAC as it continues to go digital. Now, moving on to rights of minority shareholders. You may recall that in our last edition, we focused on minority shareholders' rights. We told you that while Investopedia described minority shareholder as single shareholder who owns and controls more than 50% of a company's outstanding shares is called a majority shareholder. In comparison, those who hold less than 50% of company stock are classified as minority shareholders. MillerLawPC.com views them as those who hold less than 51% of the shares in a corporation. Both publicly traded and privately held companies have shareholders. Also, MillerLawPC.com further says all shareholders generally have at least the following rights. 1. Right to vote on major decisions and election of directors. 2. Right to participate in meetings. 3. Right to receive dividends, and also right to inspect company records that are relevant to the shareholders' interest. To get a further insight on the minority shareholder, let's join Adiola Tululokpe in the second part of our interview. Do stay with us.
At what point does a PSC becomes a minority shareholder, or a shareholder becomes a PSC?
Now, if a shareholder becomes a PSC, right, a reportable interest, when he holds shares up to 5% and above.
Okay.
Okay? The difference is that you can have a PSC who is also a minority shareholder. A PSC that holds 5%, for instance, is a minority shareholder. Okay. A PSC that holds 10% is a minority shareholder because it does not hold controlling shares.
Okay.
Controlling shares will mean in the mix of shareholding, if they take your own shares alone, you can exercise significant control over the company.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And if you don't, I don't see how that will happen if you don't have at least 33 or 35 or 40% of the shareholding. That's substantial enough. Right? But with 5%, you cannot influence decisions. With 10%, you cannot influence decisions. And that is why the law will say, look, whether you can or you cannot influence decision, the fact is that you are a shareholder, you are an investor, and you deserve some protection. You should be heard. You deserve updates from time to time. Your opinion should count. Right? The majority may have its way, but the minority should also have a say.
Okay.
So that is what minority protection concept is all about.
Okay. So let's go to the next provision.
So a provision that is actually new, for instance, is the requirement that before a company can sell assets, right, of a value more than 50% of its total value, right, you need approval of all shareholders.
All.
All. It's not just majority. So whether I'm 5%, whether
you are 2%,
you need the approval of shareholders. So you must call me as a minority shareholder and let me know about this transaction and let me express my view. You know, that is a new one. It never existed in CAMA. Then another new one is disclosure of remuneration of managers. People want to know, before now, all you needed to disclose was remuneration of directors, you know. But now the law has expanded it to include managers. Now, managers, not necessarily because you are referred to as a manager. You know, at the CAC, we have managers, deputy managers, senior managers, principal managers, just like you have in the banks, managers, senior managers, blah, blah, blah. And they even have, what are AGMs? Assistant general managers. They are also indicator of managers or general managers and all that. So it's not because you bear the name, because you can be a manager and have no control whatsoever. So the regulations defines a manager to include any person holding senior management position, right, that is vested with sufficient authority, you know, that can take decisions, right? Management decisions that will bind. Those are the kind of persons you call managers. And you'll find that mostly these are persons that occupy or will satisfy the definition of shadow directors. You know, ordinarily, directors are persons at whose instance a company wants to act. You know, persons that will say, do this, doesn't matter what you call them. Some of them may not even be on record at the CAC as directors. But we know that the directors that are sitting there, Tolu, who is director of finance, must first go and talk to somebody. You may call him Godfather or whatever. That will not say, no.
Somebody behind the scene.
This is how you should do it. So there's somebody with my rope. So when you see my leg move, somebody's pulling it. When you see my hand go to like this, somebody's pulling it there. That person, the law sees him, deems him a director. It doesn't matter that he's not on record or that his particulars are not disclosed. So when there are responsibilities to be borne by directors, he must also bear.
That's the shadow director.
Yes. So you find persons like that, even within the management chain, they are not reported to CAC as directors, but they have sufficient, they exercise sufficient authority, you know, to take decisions that will bind the company.
Okay.
Right. Now, the law says for persons like that, you should report their remuneration to the general meeting.
Okay.
That is new.
Okay.
Then you have another one, obligation for directors to disclose conflict of interest where they find themselves in such situations. If they are interested in any contract, right? It was always there,
Okay.
right? But it's been expanded to now require written disclosure. So your disclosure now must be in writing, stating your interest in that transaction or proposed transaction. And it must be done before the meeting where they are supposed to consider it.
Oh, okay.
Aha. So that is the expansion. Not that there was no requirement for directors to disclose conflict of interest. It was there. Right? But now it's more granular. The requirements are more granular. You must make it in writing, and you must do it before the meeting where it will be considered. Right. So another one that is interesting. There's always been the right for shareholders to institute actions. Right? Again, minority protection for perceived injuries and all of that. Even though before, strictly speaking, it's only a company that can sue.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
For its injuries against it. Okay? Fine. But now what you have, unlike before, where you have the shareholder plaintiff, you couldn't just require any document from the company. You would have had to be specific what kind of documents you are requiring. But today, under section 346, right, that has been expanded to make it not obligatory that you must identify a particular document. Okay. If you have a case against the company, it's sufficient to determine that this class of documents, this range of documents, what I want is inside, let them produce it. That would help you when you are talking about enforcing your rights. We said it the other time, that when error or wrongdoing is perceived against the shareholder, it should be able to enforce its rights in that instance. Rights to protection.
What about shareholders who don't understand or know their right?
Again, that ignorance, like he said, of the law is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
So if you are getting into any area, I mean, we expect that you should know the factors affecting that area, the principles and the rules at play. If you're an investor, you are coming into a company, you want to go and buy shares in a company and all that. It's your interest that the rules that govern shareholding,
What about people who have, who are into money laundering and all of that, and who just felt, okay, let me just put my money in this business. I don't care what happens there.
One, in the first place,
illicit funds. And
yes.
Just
I mean,
inject it into, yeah.
Yes. We don't want illicit funds in the system.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are sufficient.
But these are things that happen.
Yes, of course, we know they happen. I mean, until it's illicit, you don't know it is illicit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, for people, there are people that are even so comfortable, they just tell you, look, let's just secure the money there. All those things you are doing, they don't care.
You're talking about.
They don't care. Just make sure my money is not eroded in value. And my profit is coming. So they really don't care. They are not. You talk when you are saying that, you are talking about shareholder. Let's say description for it. That shareholders are conscious, and they are they are forthright. They fight for their right. They are conscious and they always fight for their right. So. Some people, they have apathy. There's nothing you can do about that. Some people, they are much interested in everywhere their dime is. But like I said earlier, it's in the interest, shareholder dynamism, right? It's in the interest of the shareholder, right, to know the rules guiding his interest.
Yes.
So that he's not unwittingly losing out on it without knowing it.
How does all of this affect the business environment?
Good. One of the thematic areas of CAMA 2020 is to enhance stakeholder engagement, to promote transparency, disclosures, necessary disclosures. And the reason why you want to do that ultimately is to make your investment space, right, one that is credible, one that has integrity, one that promotes investor confidence. When people are not confident or comfortable investing in your space, then there's a problem. No matter anything you put, no matter what you put in place, as long as what they are seeing does not boost their confidence, they will not invest in their space.
Okay.
So when you let people know that it doesn't matter the quantum of your investment is safe, right? You will be heard, right? There are safeguards that will ensure that you are engaged from time to time and you are updated concerning your investment. It doesn't matter how little or how huge it is. When they know that in any event, if you think there is a risk to your investment, or that the investment is being managed in a way that infringes on your right, there is always available remedy for you. You can approach the courts to enforce that right or remedy. When people know that, and that when you go, it's not something that will be protracted or prolonged, you won't get justice. When people know that is available in the system, then they are comfortable investing in the system, they will come. Investors they want to take risk, but they want to take calculated and certain risk. They want to be sure
of their investment.
Yes, that this is what is available when this happens. You don't just want to leave it and say they can ride roughshod on my investment and they don't have to engage me from time to time. No.
Okay.
So that is what it does. Invariably, it deepens investment in the system.
Okay.
It attracts investors, whether local or foreign. It's the same indices, it's the same parameters, it's the same consideration for investors. Is my investment safe?
I think that's the first question that every investor wants to ask.
Is my investment safe? The company's record of stakeholder engagement, how deep is it? Are they transparent in reporting? Are they compliant? Do they even have an attitude for compliance? Right? And then you want to know, can I enforce my rights? How easy is it to enforce my rights? Would there be...
that's the rounding question that I wanted to come to there. How easy is it to enforce the shareholders' right?
Well, today I know that many states have instituted what you call the small claims courts.
Okay, small claims court.
Yes, yes, so that for claims that do not exceed a particular threshold, right, they can always go to those courts. And those courts are...
What is the time frame?
I don't know.
For you to get justice or to get a good judgment?
That would depend on rules of court. And even when you look at the rules of court, it's not like you can say it must be 3 months for the judge to sit. No, what it does is that the rules of court today, as they have been reviewed, discourages unnecessary delays.
Okay.
And so you tell you certain things cannot be done. You must respond to this within this number of days, except there are exceptional grants for you not to do that. So all of that is to make justice delivery, justice administration quick, fast, without unnecessary delays.
Okay.
So you find that what you see now, not just in those small claims court, generally, is that justice is faster delivered today than it was yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know we can go on and on and on, but it's very interesting. You know, I wish that this can also apply to the political space, where the minorities are also given this kind of protection.
But unfortunately, CAC does not regulate the political space.
So the minority in the political space are on their own.
No, they are not. They are not. They have what you call their own board system. They have the National Assembly.
Okay.
So let their representatives speak. Everybody has the right to speak as well.
And then they can set up their own courts too.
If they want to.
Sometime in the future.
If they want to.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for your time as always.
My pleasure, Madam.
All right.
Moving on to registration now. Do you know how to register an association, a club, or faith-based organization seamlessly online? Join us.
Registration of an incorporated trustee on the new CAC registration portal. In this video, you will learn how to register an association or incorporated trustee with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Let's begin. Step 1. Log on to pre.cac.gov.ng and log into your portal. If you do not have an account, click on Register on the top right corner of your screen to create an account. Step 2. On your dashboard, click on New Name Reservation. Pick Incorporated Trustees under Classification. Enter your proposed names. Pick New Incorporation as your reason for availability search. Click on Apply for Reservation Code button. This will bring up the reservation code application process page. Step 3. Pick the classification of your Association 1 and 2 and describe the association's classification. Ensure you fill all fields marked with a red asterisk and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the Constitution, specify the minimum or maximum number of trustees. Set the trustee tenure. Choose the custodian of the common seal. Choose the governing body of the association. State the application of funds. State how the account of the incorporated trustee will be kept, then click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Aims and Objectives, click on the Add Aims/Objectives button and state the aims or objectives of the association. Click the Add button, then click on Save and Continue. Step 6. On the Trustee, you must add at least 2 trustees or more to proceed and ensure you add a secretary to the body of trustees. To add a secretary, pick and fill in the details of your designated secretary or a trustee who will also act as a secretary. If the secretary is a designated secretary only, click the box labeled Add as a Secretary Only after filling in the secretary's details. If a trustee will be acting as secretary, click the box labeled Add both trustee and secretary and click on Add Trustee and then click on Save and Continue. If you wish to hide the residential address of any of the trustees, click on the Hide Residential Address toggle button. Ensure you fill all fields marked with a red asterisk and click on Save and Continue. Step 7. On the Document Upload, if there are supporting documents which will facilitate your application for a reservation code, scan and upload here. Then click on Save and Continue to preview. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on Save and Continue to proceed to payment. You can now proceed to make a newspaper publication in at least one national daily and at least one local newspaper in local circulation in the locality where the association will be registered. Obtain and keep the hard copies of those publications. Registration. After your application for consent has been approved, log on to your dashboard and click on the Reserved panel. Click the Start Registration button beside your reserved name. Step 1. Under Meetings, you can add different types of meetings and specify the quorum for each. Add your meetings and click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Under Source of Income, add the sources of income of the association and click Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Publications, fill in the details of the first and second newspaper publications you made and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the Document Upload, scan and upload the document labeled Yes, and where the document labeled Optional applies to you, scan and upload, then click Save and Continue to preview. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on Save and Continue to proceed to payment. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel, where you can download and print it.
Wow! What then are you waiting for? Hurry now to pre.cac.gov.ng to register your business. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, for comments and inquiries, you can please take advantage of our social media handles and our helplines. On Twitter, it is at CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. You could visit our website via www.cac.gov.ng. And our helplines are on the numbers 081 822 99016 or 081 822 98971, 090 874 01598 or 090 874 01599 and 090 874 01600. Join us next week for another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly. Same time and same station. I am Amina Jibril, saying bye for now.